frigid here in the house. Beautiful view. It's frosty and cold this morning. Got a bit of snow yesterday, everything's froze up. We're working hard here in the house. We've got moor vents. We had this stuff purchased for quite a while already. And so those are moor vents. The idea behind that is to get the air to flow up from outside, up through the soffit, and then up, and it'll make it all the way up to the ridge and flow out. We're getting ready to insulate the attic here, and that's why we need those in there. If we didn't put that in there, it would close it right off with insulation and the air would not be able to flow up. So we need that. And then we're sticking these bats in here as an insulation stop. Whatever we're going to put in the attic is a blown-in insulation, and it'll all end up going down and out there into the soffit. We don't want that to happen. So we're taking these bats, we're cutting them down into 24-inch pieces and sticking them in there tight so that they'll stop the blown-in insulation from going down over top. Excuse me. So that's what we're working on. We also hammering these truss clips on. Wes is doing that right now. They forgot to ship us those when they sent the trusses. They should have gone on right away. They're kind of like hurricane clips, I guess is what they'd be called. So they nail on with special nails to the plate here, as well as to the truss. There's a neat little bracket. I guess I can show you them up close. Wes has probably got a few here yet. That's what the noise is. It's not a woodpecker, but that's Wesley. So these clips here hold her together, and then there's special nails for that have an amazing shear strength. They look kind of like a normal nail. They got a number on the end of them, and they're meant just for that. Joist hanger nails. So he's putting those on. We're hoping to put the plastic on here today. But, we do have the other stuff. The truss clips were sent out as part of the truss package, and the moor vents we've had here, probably from before I put the trusses on. So we're getting that all done, getting these ends closed, and hoping to get vapor barrier through here. That'll hopefully keep it a little bit warmer. Right now there's a lot of cold air blowing down. You're a noisy guy. Right now there's a lot of cold air blowing in and coming down into the downstairs. Everybody, we have been waiting for this for, I don't know, well over a month now, I guess. Next step in our project in the house. It's growing into winter here slowly but surely. Today is actually going to be another nice day, but the last one for the next 2 weeks, and then it's going to be cooler again. So we finally managed to save up enough money to buy some insulation. It won't be the total amount. Well, later on we'll top it up with more, but this will be enough to keep us warm this winter. So we're going to be sticking that in today. If you're not familiar with that, this is all loose stuff crammed tight into a bag. It goes into a machine, I'll show you that later, that fluffs it all up and blows it up in the attic. And so this will give us lots of insulation. And like I said, we'll be topping it up later. We require an R60 in the ceilings, and so this will only be an R40, but it'll still be good. So yeah, we're very excited about that. It's going to keep in a lot of heat. Most of your heat is lost through the ceiling, through the attic, and so looking very, very, very excited. You're excited for that, Wes? Mm-hmm. You're going to help me put it in? Done that before? Yeah. No? This is new for you. Mm-hmm. Don't fall in the machine. No. Nope. It's not a super dangerous machine. Basically just a blower. You can see a picture over here on the bag. And the pink panther shoving the bats in the hole. So I'll be up in the attic blowing or holding the hose, and Wes will feed it in. Have this machine for a few hours, but then we'll bring it back, and then hopefully it'll be a whole lot warmer in here. We're pretty excited. All right, quick show you here. That's the machine. The hose is going to hook up to here. And I've got the hose here. They've got it all rolled up in a bag. Comes out. I'm not sure how many feet is in there. Quite a bit though. So it's going to hook up to this port. That's electrical in. We've got some controls over here. These fit right in this hole. And I believe there's a knife, yeah, right here for the bag, to cut the bag open as you shove it in. So inside, not super dangerous, just some paddles. But basically, it's just going to fluff them all up because they're in here pretty hard. Here's some that's getting blown out right now. But it's in there pretty dense. That's already been expanded a little because we got a hole in the bag. So I'll fluff it up and then feed it out into the bottom there, and the blower will grab it and throw it through the hose up into the top. And you get just some simple start stops. Nothing super fancy here. Some of them, I don't think this one does, some of them have a controller, a remote you can run from upstairs to turn it on or off. And it's not looking like I have one here. No. So, anyway, we'll just holler really loud, I guess. I don't think this one's quite as quiet or as noisy as the other one either. There are some that are extremely noisy. So we'll get that hose hooked up into the attic. Hopefully we got enough length. I think we do. I think there's usually like 200 feet or something. So, and then we'll get all of this to put in. There's a bit more in there yet. But all right, here we're up in the attic, and you can see it's blowing in. Obviously we're on top of the vapor barrier. That's what's holding it up right now. We threw 2x4 strapping on from down below every 4 feet to help hold this insulation up until we end up putting some sort of material on the ceiling. We haven't quite decided what we wanted yet. I think we're going to end up going with barn board. Not totally sure. So I'm aiming for about a 14-inch thick layer of insulation. You can see how it's just blowing out of the hose here, kind of like a snow machine. The only issue I find, it's very light and fluffy, so the amount of air blowing out of this hose, if you point that hose in in a direction, it'll actually blow stuff back out of the corners. And so I want to make sure I get enough down at the bottoms and stuff everywhere. But yeah, no, it's sure a lot handier than sticking bats in, and a lot more effective too. Works good. We got a long ways to go yet though. That and everything behind me. This will take probably 3-4 hours today, I'm gonna guess. Alright, almost got halfway done. Working my way up to the front here. That's the attic access hole. I got a little bit to do here at the front. But then that's halfway point. I got to do the other side yet. But you can see it makes for a nice blanket. It's one continuous unit. And that's the better part too. If you do bats, there's always potential for air pockets between the rafters, or between the trusses, between the studs, whatever, and the bats. And that'll allow the hot and cold to meet, which is what you don't want to happen. So here it just becomes one continuous blanket, and you avoid that. Spray foam is another thing, although I don't know if you'd spray foam in here. That wouldn't be, I think this is the best course of action here. But spray foaming your walls prevents that same air cavity. Yeah, this makes for a good seal. And you can see those Moore vents just kind of tweaking out the end there still. And that's why we stuck those in there. I'm thinking by my belly's feel that it must be getting close to breakfast time now.
There's Eli. Of he's poking his nose. Night night. Night night.